We all think that our world is unique, our industry is unique, and that we've got this special insight that makes us different. And the reality is that it's not different. So I'm Pete Downton, I'm Director of Cloud Services for Imagination Technologies, and I'm here to share some of what I've learned working around media and entertainment and technology for the last 10 years or so. I spoke about the painful transition the music industry made from analog world selling CDs in stores to a digital world where we had to understand our consumers and we had to figure out how to make a business out of this whole new area. I spoke about it in terms of the stages I went through in terms of understanding that and a certain amount of denial about the change, and then anger, the way that we reacted by essentially suing our customers, and then some of the acceptance, what we did when we figured out that it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for the industry. Even though the industry has confidence in that music is the most ubiquitous form of art, it's always been there, always will be there in people's consciousness. But to go from a world where you had a set of relationships with retailers who sold CDs and took care of making the money that allowed you to go on investing in artists, to a world where you had to figure it out is a very scary thing, especially for executives who had no real understanding about technology and little understanding about commerciality. Suddenly it felt like the Wild West, and everything that they cared about was kind of slipping away from them. And when people are scared, change causes some kind of strange reactions. I was fortunate in terms of, from my perspective, I worked for a business that was working really closely with Apple around the launch of iTunes in 2003, and I guess that gave us some real optimism, and it gave us something concrete to show to the rest of the business, to show to our management team, to show to the artists, most importantly, that there was a future for the industry after CD. And so I spent many hours of my life on planes trying to replicate that with other partners around the world, but also visiting executives and artists to explain to them that we'd not given up. We were still trying to build a business, but it was one that was going to take time. I think the publishing industry, I think there's a intrinsic difference between the way that people deal with print media, and particularly with kind of long-form print media books, to that in music. So there are certain differences that it would be easy to use them to dismiss learning from what's gone before, because we all think that our world is unique, our industry is unique, and that we've got this special insight that makes us different. And the reality is that it's not different. It's the same, because you're talking about a world where you have constant connectivity, you have amazing devices that give you wonderful kind of opportunities to engage with content that have never been there before. And so I think that the challenge for the publishing industry is to learn from the dangers of being slow, to embrace change and to actually drive the positive change. And to do that, it probably needs a little bit more, I guess, two things. One, a bit more humility in terms of being honest about what they don't know, but also a bit more ambition and passion and commitment, and being happy to go and say, I'm proud of doing what I'm doing. I don't care about technology, I don't care about business models, I care about my authors. And that's not a bad thing. That shouldn't be something they apologise for, they should be proud of that. And then they have to go and find partners to create the market. I don't do conferences because I think they're normally a total waste of time, if I'm being honest. Because invariably the people who are speaking are guarded in what they say, because their corporate paymasters make them guarded. I mean, I think, I caught the end of the previous presentation, and I spoke to a few people over lunch, and there was a real discourse, a real discussion, real dialogue. And so I think these things are absolutely vital to bring the different experiences together. You can save yourself 6 months or 12 months of mistakes that other people have already made by hearing about them first. And so, between that and the fact that it's held in the Carlsberg Brewery, I mean, it's got to be a good thing, right?